everyone, welcome back to Wix Fix. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Ryan, and today's video is another episode of Fix Your Wix, the series where we take one of your websites and we redesign the homepage for fun and educational purposes. Now, if you would like to participate in a future episode of this series, there's going to be a link in the description to an application form to fill out. But without further ado, for today's video, we are going to be redesigning a website called Akshay Group, and I think they develop residential and commercial properties in Pune. And so if we scroll down this website, it actually does not look bad. It does look a little bit dated, but in today's video, we're going to be redesigning it to kind of give it a little bit of a more modern twist and make it look really cool. Let's go ahead and get started. So for this first section up here, we're going to kind of create a hero section, but we're going to split this hero section into kind of like two different sections. So with this top one, we want to add some text. Now, of course, you want to have a heading 1 text element on every single one of your pages. So we're going to design this one just like this, and we're going to align it to the middle. Now, if we take a look at their main website, you can see that it basically just says Akshay Group, promoters and builders. And then it also says like the best residential and commercial properties in Pune. Now, I know they are like a real estate developer as well. So what I did is I came up with like a new tagline that doesn't say their company name because we already know what website we're on, but we're going to basically change it to residential and commercial property developers in Pune. I think that tagline tells your users exactly who you are and what you do and who you do it for, or I guess the location you do it in. And I think that is a lot better. Now I'm also going to come in here to line spacing, and we're going to adjust this a little bit to 1.2. That looks a lot better, especially for larger fonts. The next thing we need is just a paragraph field. Now, I did not actually add anything in this on our example website, but ideally you want to add, or I guess elaborate a little bit more on your text or on your tagline. But what we're going to do is make it this dark gray, and I kind of want to add something a little bit lighter but not super light. I think that color looks really good, and we'll just center this in the section and we'll move it right underneath the tagline. Perfect. The next thing we'll need is just a button. Now I've already designed some of our buttons here just like this. We're basically using our font, which is Montserrat Regular. And all I'm going to say here is projects. There we go. Now this is a very basic design for a button, but if you want to check it out, we don't have a fill. Our border is our accent color, which is this hex code right here. Again, our text is Montserrat and it is our accent color. So it's very simple. Nothing too complicated, but we're going to grab all of these elements, group them together. And with this section, I only want it to be like 400 pixels. And then we're going to align this text element to the bottom of the section, just like that. Because like I said, this hero section is going to be split into two different sections. So what I want to do is add a brand new section. It's going to be blank, and we're going to make this one, I think I did like 800 pixels, and we're going to change the background to an image. Now I did create this image inside of Photoshop, and then I exported it and uploaded it here into Wix. And of course I'm using their accent color, and I kind of created like a skyline. Now I just found the skyline online, but if this was a paid client, I would use a skyline of Pune and make it look a lot more like Pune, as you know, this company only works in Pune. But then we're going to go into the settings and make sure that we position it at the bottom. That way we always have this black here at the bottom, because this is going to be used as a transition for our next section, which is just going to be a blank section. But we're going to make the background of this section black. And now you kind of see that this city skyline leads into this new section, which I think looks really cool. Now I'm going to give us some room to work with here. And I believe what I did here was I actually just grabbed this text element from the top. I came down here and pasted it. And I just kind of centered it right about here. And what I did with this text element is I actually came down to SEO and accessibility, and I made this an H2. Because with SEO, the best practices, you only want to have one H1 tag on your website. But I did want the size of the text as our H1 theme, but I'm manually changing the HTML tag to an H2 so that when we set up the SEO, this page only has this one H1 tag. But with this text, what I'm going to do is go ahead and paste in the text. I'm going to go ahead and align it to the left. And what I want to do is come over to line spacing, and we're just going to bring this in quite a bit more. I think the 0.8, I think that looks really, really good. And because I copied and pasted it, it changed the text white. And you can see I highlighted some of the text with the accent color blue. And I think that looks really cool. But now we can move on to below this text. So what I'm going to do is expand this section down a little bit. And all I really did here was grab a text element. We grabbed the paragraph. We put it right about here. And if we grab this element right here, we'll see that it says basically 880. So if I go ahead and do 880 divided by 2, that's 440. And then what I typically do is take off a little bit less. So we'll do 420. So let's grab this paragraph text. We'll set the width to 420. And we'll go ahead and paste in the text from the other page. Now, this color, once again, I chose like this light color right here. So it's not super dark, but it's not super light either. But we're going to go ahead and copy and paste it. And we'll go ahead and align it with the edge. And I think that spacing looks really, really good. But now what I want to do is come over here. We're going to go ahead and grab this button here. We'll copy it. And we'll paste it down below this paragraph text. We'll make sure it's centered. And we'll change the text to learn more. And we'll go ahead and bring this up just a little bit. We don't want to bring it up too much because we are going to use the next section as a transition. So let's go ahead and add a brand new section. We'll make it blank. And we'll also make this one quite a bit larger. So we'll set it to like 900 pixels. And what I want to do here is I actually want to add a box. We'll add this one right here. Now this one already has the styling from the other page, but basically it's just a white box with some shadow. So you can see we have 0 distance, 5 pixel sizing, blur is 15 and opacity is 5. And we also rounded the corners to like 3 pixels. So it's not very big. As for the size of this, I want to make it 190 by 124. So it's going to be very, very small, but inside of that, what I want to add is a couple text elements. So we'll come over to text. I think I grabbed a heading 6, and I think this text is going to be 38, and we'll center it. Then let's copy it and paste it. We'll bring this one down below, and we'll make this one like 16 pixels, something pretty small. Okay. And what I want to do is kind of bring these in to maybe like 180 in size. I'm just going to delete this by adding a couple numbers. But we'll make this the same size, 180. We'll grab both of these and we'll stick them inside of this box here. And basically what this is going to represent is on their website, they have this section right here. So let's do 31. And then say years of experience. So we'll do like 31 plus, and then say in all caps, years of experience. Okay, and I think that looks really good. So now what I want to do is just kind of bring this over here to where it aligns with the paragraph above. And I'm just going to duplicate this and position these just like this. and I'm going to duplicate it 2 more times and place these kind of like in between. Then what I want to do is grab each one of these. We can come over to the align tool and we'll say divide horizontally, just like that. And then we can group them together. And I'm just going to bump it up to where it's like halfway above the next or the last section. So this kind of adds a really nice transition. You'll notice I added this to the bottom section and not the top one, because if we add it to the top and we bring it down, then sometimes when we press save, this section right here down below will sometimes appear above it, which we don't really want. So to prevent that from happening, I always put it in the bottom section and then move it up just like that. So now that we have that designed, let me go ahead and fill these out. Great. So for this next section, if we take a look at their website, they basically have ongoing and upcoming projects. Now for this design, I kind of want to use like one of Wix's new features. So we're going to come over to add, we're going to come over to interactive, and you'll notice under boxes, we now have this thing called tabs. So I kind of want to utilize this. So what I'm going to do is drag this out. I'm going to make this the same width as our everything else on our site, just like that. And what I want to do is just manage tabs for now. And I just want to delete every single one except for one. Okay. And then inside of this one, we're just going to delete all of the content in here. Perfect. Now, what I want to do is first set up the design. So we're going to customize the design for the menu container. We don't really have to do anything here. So for the tabs, what I want to do is set the background to white. Okay. For text, we want to make sure it's our font. So we're going to say Montserrat. We'll say Montserrat regular. For the color of it, we want to make sure it is set to black. Actually, we'll do like a light gray. We'll do this one right here. For the border, let's set it to 1 pixel. And we'll lock it so that all sides have 1 pixel. And for the fill, let's make it the same color as our other area. And then for the corners, I don't want there to be rounded edges because all of our other buttons don't have rounded edges. On hover, what I want to do is make the text black. Same with the border. And then selected, we'll make everything black as well. And we'll also make the background color white here as well. Perfect. And we'll just go ahead and remove the shadow from all of them. Perfect. So now we can switch over from tabs to the container. And for the container, I literally just want to make it white. Want to remove the shadow. And the corner radius, we'll just remove that as well. Great. So now with this selected, I want to drag this down a little bit to give us some more room to work with. Inside of this, we can actually attach a repeater. So what I'm going to do is go to add, go to list, go to blank repeater, and I'm just going to drag this one out right here. Now, what I want to do first is say manage items, and I'm just going to delete 2 of them. Then what I want to do is grab one of them, or grab the only one, I guess, and we'll set the background color to white. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and bring in the size of this so we can actually fit it inside of our thing right here. Perfect. What I'm going to do is attach it to the top left, and we'll see that the width of this is 879. So we'll grab the repeater and we'll set it here as well. Great. And what I want to do with this is kind of bring it close to the middle. We can even expand the height a little bit for now. And I want to go into the design and add just a black border. Set it to 1. And we can like lower the opacity a little bit if we want. Great. So the first thing I want to add inside of this repeater is just going to be an image. So this one could be like of your property. So I'm going to go ahead and resize it a little bit. I'm going to put it inside of our repeater. And then I'm going to make it a little bit bigger now that it's in the repeater. Great. Now what I want to do is add some text. We'll do like a heading 5. Stick it right here. We'll center the text. And we'll change this to project title. The next thing we'll do is bring in a heading 6. This one, we'll make it like 16 pixels. And we'll make it our dark gray. And we'll center it. And this one is going to be location. And we'll drag this right underneath the project title, just like that. And now we can just bring up the size of this repeater real quick. I think that looks good. And now we can say manage items, and we'll just duplicate this one. So now with the tab, what I'm going to do is bring this down a little bit. And I want to grab this button right here. We'll copy it. And then inside the tab, we'll paste it. And then instead of learn more, we'll say view more. Perfect. And now what I want to do is grab the whole tab thing. We'll manage it. Let's go ahead and change the name of this to current projects. Then we'll duplicate it. And we'll rename this to future projects. Now, of course, we can link this up to like CMS to make it look a little bit nicer. But what I want to do now is actually go into the layout, and I want to kind of adjust the size a little bit. So I want these to just be like this size. I don't want them to stretch the full width. I want the tabs to be in the middle. Space between tabs can be a little bit bigger. Space between the tabs and the container needs to grow a little bit. And I think we are done with that. I think that looks really good. Okay, so now I want to drag this up just a little bit. And now we are done with this section. Now the last section that we're going to be doing is just the same call to action that we've been doing for almost every one of these Fix Your Wix. I honestly just really like this pre-designed section. It just fits almost every single website. So what we're going to do is say add section. Under the welcome tab, we're going to see this one right here, say grow your vision. We'll paste it in. Now I do want to change the background to black. And we'll set the opacity to 100%. Then we'll grab this heading text. And we'll change this to white. We'll grab this paragraph and we'll make this a dark gray. And then for this button, what I want to do is just remove the fill. Make the text Montserrat light, or Montserrat regular. And we'll make it our accent color. The border, we'll make it 1 pixel, and then make it our accent color. And then on hover, we'll change the background to the accent color and the text to white. That way it just matches the rest of the website. But if we go ahead and press preview, here is the new Akshay Group website, and it looks really, really cool. But that's basically gonna wrap it up for today's video. If you all did enjoy, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel for more Wix and Editor X content coming out really soon. Thank you all again, and I'll see you all in the next one.